I love where Penix is. There were a couple of instances where he got to the 5th progression, and veteran quarterbacks don't do that more than 2 or 3 times a year, and Penix did it twice in 3 games.
What is happening, my YT Gizang? Y'all already know what it is. This is your boy Rio, and if you are new, then welcome to the channel. Now, to all my Atlanta Falcons fans, I'm pretty sure y'all already know, okay? But McGary is officially out for the season, okay? They don't put my boy on IR, and he's done for, which I ain't gonna lie, it hurt me a little bit, put a little hole in my heart, okay? But at the same time, I want to ask y'all this question because of that. Even without a very good offensive lineman that we have just lost, do you feel like Michael Penix Jr. can still help us win the division? And we're going to talk all about that today, man. But before we get into this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 3.7. So if y'all can help me out with that, y'all already know I gladly appreciate it. And make sure y'all get down in them comments too, man. And let me know how y'all feeling about this whole situation. Now, like I said, you know, when it first happened for me, okay, when I seen the boy getting carted off the field, I said, you know what, he going to go get an MRI. He going to be just fine. He might just, you know, he probably tweaked something, got a little scared, but we're going to be all right. Now, considering the fact that we had already lost Norton for 6 to 8 weeks with an ankle injury, when they announced that this man was done for the season, I said, oh my gosh, here we go again. We just can't catch a break. We can't catch a break. I mean, because we doing so good. We've been doing so good with everything. And it just seemed like, man, the season just slowly just fading away from me. And it just really made me so sad. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm liking what the Falcons are doing, okay? They very aggressive. They've been very aggressive. One thing I can say and give Raheem and everybody else, Arthur Blank, everybody else credit for as of right now. They have been very aggressive when it comes to trading and when it comes to drafting, which I feel like that is something that we've been missing for a while, okay? You go and look at Michael Penix, you know, which we was all confused about that pick. What is going on? Why is they getting a quarterback when we just paid this one man so much money? But then, as the season go by, they made the right decision, right? And then you look at this draft. We getting defensive edge rushers, linebackers, man. We just making all the right picks. I seen a man, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I went to the draft. I went to the draft thing up there in the stadium. And when I say it was so many people that had tears in their eyes, man, because it was just like, bro, we've been waiting for this moment. And now we finally got it. But let me get back on topic, okay? They went out there and made a trade, okay, because they know that we hurting a little bit when it comes to the offensive line. So they decided to go out there and pick up Big Mike, you know, from the Seattle Seahawks, in which they gave up a 7th round pick in the 2027 draft, which I'm not mad at, okay? I'm not mad at it at all. Because to be honest with you, man, looking at this team, bro, we are so talented. We are very talented. And I know everybody see it. Everybody see how much talent we got, especially in these young players. When it comes to receivers, running backs, Michael Penix, the defensive side, hopefully Kyle Pitts, you know, come up and do what he got to do. Hopefully, man, we've been waiting on him to shine. But I feel like, you know, when it comes to Michael Penix Jr., he's really going to be able to get him involved based off of what I seen them last 3 games last year. So, man, we very talented. So at this point, man, I feel like our time, if it's not now, it is very close. It is very close. Now, I do feel like it's our time to make it to the playoffs for sure. Making it to the Super Bowl, who knows? Who knows? But I ain't counting us out, because looking at our offense, looking at how good they are, we got a chance. I'm just going to leave it there. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. All the non-Atlanta Falcon fans following me, subscribe to my channel. Say what you want to say. Drop it down in the comments. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I like what I see. But like I said, you know, we making aggressive trades. And I like this trade when it comes to giving up that 7th round pick in the 2027 draft for offensive tackle, in which I kind of feel like at this point, they're going to end up moving some people around on that line. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, I feel like we got a good enough offensive line to be able to do so. I felt like at that time, even with McGary being missing, I felt like we had a chance to still have a good enough offensive line to be able to hold up for Michael Penix. But, you know, we don't want to take no chances, and I get that. I get that, especially when you talking about Michael Penix blind side. When that side is weak, that's very scary. That is very scary. So hats off to Raheem and Arthur Blank, whoever's involved on making this trade and making things happen, man. I really like it. But it's a lot of people talking big about Michael Penix, and I'm ready to see what he can do. It's a lot of people still doubting him, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are not. Bijan Robinson is definitely one of them. Dan Orlovsky had a whole interview with my boy Bijan the other day, and he had to speak highly of his quarterback, as we all know. Take a look at the video.
Michael Penix is in his second season. In your eyes, how does he take your offense to the next level?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think just with him, he's super intelligent. And another thing with him that I think people kind of sleep on is his athleticism. I think he's a very athletic quarterback, and he can move out the pocket. He can run, and for me, it helps me out a lot because he'll take a linebacker away, he'll play a player away when we're trying to get everything going in the run game and stuff like that. But with him just extending plays and using his arm talent to, get the ball to all the receivers and, myself and everybody that pass catches, it's going to be huge for him. And, I think people saw a little snippet of it last year at the end of the season, but now that we got a whole offseason with him now and a whole training camp with him, I know that our confidence is super high, not just in him, but and everybody in the offense and what we're trying to do.
If you ask me, I do feel like Michael Penix is one of those type of quarterbacks that can get over 4,000 yards in the season. Hands down. I mean, I'm looking at the receiver sets, okay? You got Bijan Robinson, first of all. I ain't even going to the receivers yet. You take Bijan Robinson and take him out there on the island with a linebacker, bro, it's guaranteed. Guaranteed money. You got Drake London. Drake London was in the top 5 when it come to receiving yards last year, okay? You got Mooney. Mooney, I mean, I don't know. We don't know when he going to get back, but we still got him at the end of the day. He was a game shy of getting over 1,000 yards. Ray McLeod looked pretty good in the during the practices and stuff like that. Of course, he didn't play in the preseason, but he is a weapon. He is a threat. Okay, he's very good at running routes, and he's fast. And then you got Pitts. So, look, man, at the end of the day, I think we got enough firepower for him to throw over 4,000 yards. That's just how I feel, okay? But we going to see. At the end of the day, we definitely going to see. A lot of people feel like they didn't see enough of him. They felt like he should have played in the preseason, and we can talk about that all day. Okay, I'd rather him not play in the preseason. I know it's a lot of people that feel like he should have, and I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Everybody made valid points when it came to that whole situation of him playing in the preseason, rather. So I'm not mad at it, but I don't want to risk the injury. I really don't. I really feel like we got a chance to win the division this year. I really feel that way, and I think come game 1 against the Buccaneers is going to really show us a lot on what we're going to be doing this year. But Michael Penix, I think, is what we really needed as a quarterback to really put a stamp on this offense. I really feel like that's what we were missing. That's all we really needed. And now we got him. He's here. We going to make this thing shake. You look at his arm strength. You look at his vision on how he see things. Like, certain passes that he was making, man, them last 3 games, it was like, okay, he'll zip it through there, and he ain't scared to do it. And that's a quarterback that we need, man. And then the fact that he can run if he need to run. I didn't know he ran a 4.4. Did y'all know that? I didn't know that. But being the fact that he is capable of running, but he sit in the pocket and look for pass first. Oh my gosh, it don't get no better than that, man. It really don't. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, man, Bijan Robinson is not the only player that, or the only person that spoke highly of my boy, Michael Penix Jr. If you guys do not know Albert Breer, he had a whole lot to say about Michael Penix too. Let's take a look at that video.
I love where Penix is. And I think what's interesting when you're there and when you're around the Falcons now is I think sense a lot of break tapping on Penix and how good he can be this year. And I also didn't just hear it from offensive coaches. I heard it from defensive coaches too, where there was, you won't believe this kid's vision. There's stuff that he was doing in practice where it was like we had to get back in the meeting room. How the hell did he see that? And we'd ask him and he'd be able to explain it. And so, like, I think with Penix, I'm excited to see what this looks like because the comps that you're getting from people in that building is Matthew Stafford. And a lot of those guys were with Stafford in LA. Now, he doesn't have all the arm angles. Obviously, he doesn't have the experience and all of that. But just as far as how he spins the ball, how he sees the field, how fast he processes, all of that's there. And so that's one part of the equation. Like, will that manifest? And I wrote my column last week. There were a couple of instances where he got to the fifth progression. And veteran quarterbacks don't do that more than 2 or 3 times in a year. And Penix did it twice in 3 games.
Y'all let me know how y'all feel about Michael Penix Jr. though. Do y'all feel like he is that quarterback that's going to help us win the division? And will he help us get to the Super Bowl? Drop no comments down there below and let me know how y'all feeling about this whole situation. I got to get up out of here, guys. I love y'all. I'm going to get at y'all on the next one. Yeti.